How is it go? Question number 1 is question number 1 hi say which of the following are the causes of biodiversity loss when we talk about biodiversity loss when a current scenario the biodiversity loss anthropogenic activities tagi induce biodiversity loss to sida causes to natural calamities to it's very negligible, but nowadays anthropogenic activities have the human activities biodiversity da aso akai thoin basa sibu koina sisini ko koina naina doise sida number 1 the answer ko option number 1 the habitat loss and fragmentation hai ko habitat loss and fragmentation haraga di kaino har kanda koina habitat fragmentation haraga di koigi natural habitat amada ko for example example loraga harake ko Kaziranga National Park Kaziranga National Park se mangonda ko recently in recent years kaidoge har kanda nasagi national highway number 37 se si construct toksalleba ko phawraga chatle aduna maram oraga akoi Kaziranga National Park se it is divided into two part haidare ko two parts se kai no har kanda magi north side the flood plain ama leijare ko because it is associated with Brahmaputra river ko adugi flood plain duma leire and then south na Karyangong hills se season leiba ko aduna magi as a whole Kaziranga National Park leijaramba se yengse ko with the construction of the national highway number 37 National Highway 37 is the Sazaleo. Fragment Heidi Mache Tana Kai Bahabaniko, Yango, Sida, Kedore, part Aditona Kaide, Sida human interference and like Iseko, human interference and like Ise, Magis the laser amiba habitats, the laser amiba Magi, animals in Haitareka, wildlife in the, for example, rhinoceros, Adum. Well known ni Kaziranga National Park atopa wild boar lay Asiatic elephant lay ko hope and then hulog given gaze adum kaino da lay ba ngata ne ba Kaziranga National Park ta ado moina freely roam tokjaba area sida akoina sida kaidorani sumaina human beings na moida moigi kaino da akoina interfere to ina tra aduna moina freely roam tokjabase moi ngama aroiba ko if roam toraga su kaidore akoi sa thokta sinda mu kaidorani ayet apan pira ani ko adum noi kaino da social media da kaida adum khoigi lambi chapa matam da national highway da adum samuga tholaba khopa thengnaramani ko adugumba singdo kenna te adu da gineba kai lakani man animal conflict ana ko so option number man animal conflicts it is also one of the result of habitat fragmentation aduna mina moina akoi protect tokjanabani moi protect tokjanabani ko sida akoi conflict tholakpase ko ada akoi ande haini akoi da invade torapage akoina hat pane na ko ado invade tora ise kaigino moigi habitat da koina destruction piru bagine bako aduna sima leire noi huje habitat loss and fragmentation gi meaning khangani ko and then next the alien species invasion overexploitation of natural resources latsako overexploitation of natural resources ti yam laigre akoina akoigi need ki damakta resource mayam je loina season natural resource mayam je alo season aba matam sida kadawi tungi yeng tabida adagidi for example yamna live day to day activities ta koina maije projective prepare la abena maije khara de dum judiciously season are dubu koina maije dum thando lei bhaisa it is also like the maram chana na koigi natural resource exploit torni ba how maije kai dai sunge mai sum jagai dai sunge hydroelectricity natra sise akoina maram chadana sizna thuine ba ko akoina phajana maije kaino maram chana sizna dragade aduna sigumba su leire and then atopada any resources ama akoina sizna ba matamda plant derivative obi animal derivative obi ko or akoigi natural resources haraga akoigi plant animal na tabako adudagi su lakpa yai si mayam se koina phajana sizna dragadi kai dore over exploit to biragadi leiba species to aduda magi survival the threat lak ogi possibility yam lei ko lei su lei ni ko aduna akoina example da akoigi tiger gi heights tiger gi skin khani ko tiger gi skin se kainoni aidi mamana document yamna high price yonarami thaina ko asigi sigumba se thamba family se yamna high profile family gumba na maintain dawi ko atopana ka sungamde sigumba mayam se yonabagi damakta adagidi samugi maya ko elephant gi tax sigumba mayam se sizina nabagi damakta akoina ka dawe moise exploit over exploit to bibudo aduna over exploit to birabani ka dawe mogi survival do the threat la ani ka dawe mogi numbers inje aduki mate reduce to uragadi asagi red list yaraka doineba IUCN gi red list na lei ko koigi species sing je mogi kainoze numbers mogi population ga deplete to akanda ko moise kharle di mang di yabagi possibility jo lera akanda moise red list sing halei ko adugi soren question yarakani I'll come to that later similar adagi di introduction of invasive alien species haiga invasive alien species haidi akoina purpose amagi damakta akoigi native oiba species nataba ko atubu mafam lagi puraga sida introduce to matamda akoigi native plants or native animal or ko sisingigi survival the threat lakpa ko sije akoina alien species invasion haiko for example African catfish koine ngakra da achoba huzikanyan yona bodo khangba adusu one of the alien species invasion or kadene maje ngam samsa yam thathu ebo ko aduna akogi pukri da kaida loiba matanda pukri da loiba budi akoina control toraga loi ko aduna da bida sigumba sina kaigumba wild kaino da thokhiba wildlife to thokhiba matanda ko akogi river gumba kaigumba da sigi population je yang khala agadi kai daura na sagi hana Nigerian ba indigenous species mayam se si mayam sigi survival the threat la kaneba kai gina kana muni nga masam sa gum sam sa thu eba ko aduna si koina one example of alien species invasion ko aduga koi water hyacinth is pollution control gi damakta koina thaina puraga India da introduce to hibani ko sisu kabokang jaga da hojikya any water body akoina sizina da ba hai tare ko sigumba da moje sau sagai hobane ba ko moje once kaino da wi ta di lei gi ta di kaino je spread to yam thui ba ko sisu one of the problem mai tare alien species invasion gi ko similar so answer se kai ore answer is D oibra D ore ko that is 1 2 and 3 are correct then question number 2 the which of the following is or are greenhouse gas ko greenhouse gas se karam bahabane greenhouse effect no le khamni ko I know le aware rangani ana khale kaigina kan environment ki exam tha banina greenhouse effect all over gases singse greenhouse effect top da contributor over gases singse koina greenhouse gases high aduda sida harakani ka chlorofluorocarbon je some noi kharana question to boyai it is related with the depletion of ozone layer haina ko magi main contribution di kaida lay depletion of ozone layer de lay ko adubu akoina ma se traces amount near the surface of the earth like masu it contributes to global warming ko similarly that means greenhouse effect mas contribute to ko but the thing is CFC said it's no longer used. It has been completely wiped out. Kyoto Protocol gi matung na Kyoto Protocol da phase 1 phase 2 commitment phase 1 phase 2 lei ko phase 1 da CFC is completely wiped taunaba kenone tau khre ko hojikti CFC gi sigi mahutta hydrofluorocarbons is nei ko hydro akoina CFC se ozone depleting substance ne na sigi mahutta hydrofluorocarbons is nei ko. However, hydrofluorocarbons it does not deplete the ozone layer, but global warming potential high oil. That means it is one of the important gases, greenhouse gases. Adubu, akoina global warming potential haragadi akoina gas amana magi energy absorb to bagi capacity do energy absorb to haragadi akoina noina greenhouse effect ki phenomenon je khangangadi it's easy sunlight se trap to na sibune ina energy absorb to bungam bahaise trap to raga leiraga reflect to holoi doine ba trap to samasina maram waraga surface se koi gi near the earth ko surface se sije kedawi sagal han doine ba ko sigi je carbon dioxide sina apart from carbon dioxide akoina kaino lei ko water vapor lei ko water vapor say it is the most abundant greenhouse gas but the thing is water vapor is directly kaino nate ba madi akoigi carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases mayam jina kaidawi seal hengalak padagi water vapor je hengat paneba direct cause nate hai tare ko aduna global warming je yango carbon dioxide and atopa kai layer methane sising zena kadore na sagi global warming hengal halani sabaje level je hengalani ko sabaje hengalabani na rate of evaporation hengalani rate of evaporation hengalaga di kadore water vapor obviously adum rate to wang tabni ko ma quantity do wang tabni aduna ma direct nate but it also contributes to greenhouse effect ko aduna ma one of the greenhouse gas ne haina consider to ko so the option is no which of the following is or are greenhouse gases habani ko and the correct answer is 2 3 and 4 nitrogen greenhouse gas nate ko sima laire aduga next question number 3 the which of the following international protocol conference are related to in ozone layer protection habane ba ozone layer related over conference ni Vienna conference so the Montreal protocol so and then Helsinki conference so sigi ahum se it is related to ozone layer protection ko no any question hangning balai bra lairagadi hango ko otherwise please mute to you ko si laire Helsinki conference or Helsinki declaration habani ko si sida akoina nasagi Vienna conference Montreal protocol si ani se loina magyana ba se sida porakhi bani ko similarly Kyoto protocol it is associated with the greenhouse gas emission ko greenhouse gas emission ga associated with Kyoto protocol di aduna akoina Kyoto protocol the first commitment period namalai second commitment period habam sulai ko sida akoina apart from greenhouse gases ko akoina nasagi kaiba nasagi perfluorocarbon adagidi hydrofluorocarbon si mayam se sisu phase out tongraba greenhouse kainogi nasagi Kyoto protocol gi second commitment period sida tawi ko aduga akoina UNFCCC gi matung ina greenhouse gases to gi list piram ge ko no ye further tungi ko question duadi asagi methane chlorofluorocarbon ne water vapor ne piram ko And apart from that, I whole list on carbon dioxide, then water vapor, then methane, then next nitrous oxide, N2O, then hydrofluorocarbon, which is right now refrigerator, then AC, and then spray, body spray, all HFC, Kigali agreement and 2016 it is an agreement to Montreal Protocol further by the further extension Kigali agreements by the way ICFC season to be phased out by 2030 2030 sigi anova technology developed ICFC substitute by 2030 the use of ICFC should be phased out. Then next perfluorocarbon. Perfluorocarbon some later. Then next sulfur hexafluoride. See guys, why I know chlorofluorocarbons is not it has been completely wiped off. Phase out program is in the body. Adu highway later. Then next question the question no any question later see things that I know conference protocol ma'am half percent no aware or never Siga related or convention mayama layangani, Siga related or organization mayama layangani ko environment biodiversity related or conference mayam the yidi protocol mayam the yidi agreement mayam layangani and also international organization mayam layangani ko environment related or biodiversity. And then climate change related organization and then conference protocol these things elaborately from exam point of view. I see basics and I exam say environment hold base story basic concept. Although currently repeat environment it will be a very different question. Although environment conceptual concepts in the clear overview which organization is related to climate change, which protocol, which conference, which agreement is related to climate change. Then top of the biodiversity is related it's a different thing, biodiversity and climate change. Biodiversity protection is related with organization, the conference, Nagoya Protocol, Nagoya Protocol, like Kyoto Protocol, the climate change important Nagoya Protocol, biodiversity conservation, the one of the most important protocol. Mind of the Namagi Tungan to Ambalay, the Masa Kaina Kambuka, Aduki the question put up to raise or international organization in Europe. Yeah. Next, which of the following statement is correct regarding bioremediation? Bioremediation, I think bioremediation, I didn't know in environment power, aware or money in a bioremediation, a living organism, it may be microorganism, it may be plant derivative, it may be animal derivative. See me and the season the toxic chemical pollution toxic degrade to bioremediation recently oil spills samudra ocean and sea the oil spills it's one of the major problem ko aduna the sea water pollution the thole ko oil spill na maram oraga si se sigi oil spill se degrade to na ba ko degrade to na ba kai khogi consortia na khogi anova technology ma na saigi microorganism species ani hum punsalaga ko si the degrade to na ba kan na recent 1-2 years the kind of honor ko kai gino ai kanda the sagi oil spills it's one of the burning problem ko at the present aduna similar adagidi akoina PET na plastic makhal ama lay ko sisisu akoina soda bottle gumba then soft drink bottle then water bottle and then atopa juice kumba ki bottle kumba sabda sizinaba plastic material amani ko PET je sisu degrade tawna koina bacteria ama recently discovered togi ko recently 2-3 years back ni ko adubu sidagi khangba ya base kaino haya kanda bioremediation je kaino aba je phujana khangbi ba ma darkar oi ko yengaji option da kai pire these are biological measures to convert environment pollutants into harmless form. Vermicomposting is an example of bioremediation. Vermicomposting is one of the easiest method. So the option is question number 4. The option say CP. Then next up, online or through them, question hang badadum address to below. Then next up, question number 5 to last say question number 5 not very high. Which of the following categories of protected areas in India in which have certain rights of people living inside could be permitted? Haibadi akoina protected areas and like protected areas ki manungda akoina chinghalize no aina whiteboard ri se u bangambra online kangu hui ude hayo ko udragadi ai chawna ige response
is not visible.
Okay. Is there anyone who doesn't understand Manipuri dialect?
Yeah, myself. I'm from Charchampur.
Okay. So question number 5. Is it clear now?
Remember, not visible.
Still now?
Ma'am, not clear.
It may be because of the camera resolution, I guess. I've written it very big. Okay, I'll also dictate it. Protected areas include national parks, then sanctuaries, then Biosphere Reserve, then next is Conservation Reserve, and Community Reserve. See, ma'am said it is included under protected areas. Protected areas se akoina Wildlife Protection Act ki makhada ko. It was introduced under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So, in Biosphere Reserve, a certain place that already has a national park or sanctuary in it can be declared as Biosphere Reserve. Understand how we got? Place the wildlife sanctuary national park the Biosphere Reserve declared mana Biosphere Reserve declared sanctuary or national park status the status of the national park and sanctuary will remain unchanged after the declaration of Biosphere Reserve on that particular area. Sima law always keep in mind. And what does the question demand here? Certain rights of the people living inside could be permitted. Yes. Let's talk about national parks and sanctuaries. The difference between national park and sanctuaries. National park, it deals with the conservation of both flora and fauna. Whereas in sanctuaries, it deals with the conservation of fauna only. So, next, cultivation, human activities like cultivation and then grazing, then harvesting forest products, then ownership of land. These are not permitted in the national park. Aduga sanctuary study permit sanctuary study up to some extent permit aduna what about conservation reserve and community reserve? Community reserve and conservation reserve certain rights of the people are being restored. Rights community reserve any national park sanctuary or two national park or adjacent site of a national park community reserve say declared aduga conservation reserve apart from far away from the sanctuary the national park certain mix up explain conservation reserve adjacent to national park or sanctuaries declared conservation reserve community reserve any community whether there is national park or sanctuary if that particular community feels like conserving the nature around them environment to protect develop they can declare that community as a community reserve and it can be declared by the state government similar aduna activity interfere human activities aduna question options question number 5 B labra B da option 2, 3 and 4 national park next question number 6 which of the following pollutants are released by the motor vehicle exhaust incomplete combustion of fossil fuel the kai carbon monoxide ko pu thui do ko and sagi the vehicle exhaust sagi and then hydrocarbons pu thui then suspended particulate matter pu thui then oxides of nitrogen pu thui ko apart from these small amount of sulfur dioxide is also being released from the motor vehicle ko aduna all of the above are correct or so the correct option is 1 2 3 and 4 that is D for Delhi le ko then question number 7 pyramid okay pyramid pyramid is a graphical representation or pyramid shape diagram which depicts the number of organisms, biomass, and productivity at each trophic level. Ecological pyramids begin with the producers at the bottom and proceed through the different trophic level. In this context, pyramid of trophic level, which is always upright, is first of all, see questions understand the you need to know energy flow in the ecosystem. Number 1, and number 2, the trophic level representation is and then ecological pyramid energy flow mafam jaga amada lorasiko. Let's take an example of a place. Okay, let's take example of a food chain. Food chain I hope you all might be aware of food chain. Food chain that there will be a producer. Producer producer the consumer the primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer like see ma'am say we depend on one another for our survival, for our food. Food se food chain the high food se we take food in order to provide energy energy provide aduna akoina producer top level consumer energy is flow from producer to top level consumer, and you have to keep this always in your mind that energy flow is unidirectional. Unidirectional or have a top consumer producer the backward flow energy never. Energy flow is always unidirectional. See energy flow representation trophic level interactions in a and in trophic level interaction the base will be always the producer and then next above the base will come the primary consumer, above the primary consumer will come the secondary consumer. Smile ado sila see trophic level interactions akoina amu kaida tawi ngasagi graphical representation the present or this is ecological pyramid it is a graphical representation of the trophic level interaction. So here it begins with the producer at the bottom level. It's a very correct one. And in this context, pyramid of trophic level, which is always upright type of okay. Pyramid set. In pyramid ecological pyramids, pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, pyramid of energy the pyramid of number based on the number of the species species number the base biomass dry weight energy energy flow the pyramid of number and pyramid of biomass it can be both inverted and upright. Upright or inverted or in both pyramid of biomass and pyramid of number. Note this down. aduga hore noina yengdoise go and check the example which are inverted and upright examples singo khandu uka common oiba singdo it's important. And then pyramid of energy it is always upright adum oi kwa kayino ay kana saigi since the flow of energy is always unidirectional kwa made adum upright oirni kwa. So the correct answer is A kwa, that is pyramid of energy. Similarly, then next, what is the question? Which of the following are heterotrophs? Okay, heterotrophs haragadi kaino those organisms or animals which depend on other for their food ko sibo koina heterotroph hai ko, and that mode of nutrition is known as heterotrophic mode of nutrition hai ko. Aduga masagi machinjak masana sungba ngamjaba kangbu sibo koina autotrophs hai ko. For example, plants, then algae, things that they are autotrophs and they follow the autotrophic mode of nutrition ko. Similarly, aduna heterotroph tadi akoina makhal ahum thokna khaidwe parasite have amaga, then saprophytes have amaga, then holozoic mode of nutrition have amaga. Sumana khaidwe aduna nasagi saprophyte tadi dead decaying organic matters in the depend on Wakangudo, Adubokona saprophytes, parasites. You all know about parasites that depend on hosts for their survival. Holozoic mode of nutrition, Haragadi, Koina through mouth, ingest or food map, ingest or just see holozoic mode of nutrition. Animals, then human beings, they will follow holozoic mode of nutrition. Let's come back to the question. Consumer, yes, consumer, they depend on the producer for their survival. Yes, this is heterotroph. Then decomposers, yes, decomposers are also heterotrophs. Then what about producers? These are autotrophs. The right answer is B. B for Bombay. 1 and 3. Then question number 9. Question number 9. Which of the following are ozone depleting substances? Yes, like ozone depletion. Ozone depleting substances. Ozone depleting substances. The P is the option. The chlorofluorocarbon, hydrofluorocarbon, and then carbon tetrachloride. Answer is answer KP. Answer is C. Pirangani ko. Any question? The options are udre. Yes. Hydrofluorocarbon D. Koina chlorofluorocarbon gi mahut singreni kai da mabta ma ozone depletion hon de haidana ko. Adubu ma di global warming de amna bera kala yame ko. Aduga carbon tetrachloride, yes, it is also one of the ozone depleting substance, and then chlorofluorocarbon suka. So the correct answer is 1 and 3. Or an ozone depleting substances atay bromide ka lebani ko. Adu adagidi ozone depletion gi polar stratospheric cloud ta kamaina ozone formation on ozone depletion, the ozone hole, ozone depletion. Here, kay difference like si yung chala gawaran check tau ka. Si the environment kino na khang da yadra ba some important topics hai tare ko. Similarly, then next atmosphere carbon dioxide, atmospheric hai kada bani ko si atmospheric carbon dioxide acts as a greenhouse gas because see the greenhouse gas ki akoi phenomenon do khanga di sigi keno the answer je am line khumni ko greenhouse gas phenomenon see je kai kamaya tauge greenhouse gas ki keno je asagi greenhouse gas ki just give me a second. Okay, masagi incoming solar radiation se ko, that is in the form of UV rays. Since when I kanda, it has a shorter wavelength and high frequency. Ko incoming solar radiation se high frequency webanina masake dawi throughout the atmospheric layer. Akoi atmospheric layer le troposphere, stratosphere, ionosphere smile like na ko. Sig layer me am se mana frequency high webanina kadawi they can pass through different layers of the atmospheric layer and then near the surface of the earth clouds gas layer surface of the earth so natural occurring gases like carbon dioxide, nitrogen and other gases penetrate it strikes the earth surface solar radiation and what actually it does is reflector greenhouse gases trap reflector longer wavelength and lesser the frequencies less reflect penetrate so greenhouse effects it's a natural occurring phenomenon never since the creation of the earth creation of the atmospheric layer around the earth's surface greenhouse gas greenhouse effects it's a naturally occurring phenomenon adobo naturally occurring phenomenon human activities maram oraga emission hengalapana maram oraga magi laserami ba atmospheric gases singi concentration ze hengalhanba na maram oraga nasagi edora chabagi sang de hengalapa greenhouse gases more naturally occurring gases natane bako layeba hydrofluorocarbon gumbadi akoina emit tawbani ko akoigi anga ngai da geography ke ka tama matam da air composition da makro oxygen nitrogen gas carbon dioxide and some traces of other gases no tama ko sime am naturally occurring ne bako akoigi prithvi gi surface sigi gases se me am je layam daga ni ko akoigi incoming solar radiation trap trap reflector raganda earth near the surface of the earth temperatures it would have been -19 degrees Celsius which won't be possible for any life form to survive on earth jantai kwa aduna moya blanket oina leiraga akoigi atmospheric kainoze akoigi earth surface warm halaga life form exist on ngami ko adubu akoina henjan badagi size hana madugi concentration do wanga banina absorb to bogi changsu wanga ani aduna sabagi changsu wang khalei ne ba gyan tai ko aduna sigi question sida kai haye okay it traps terrestrial infrared radiation. Number 2, it reduces atmospheric pressure. Option correct answer is 1 only. It doesn't have to do anything with the atmospheric pressure. Terrestrial infrared radiation yes, mana trap to bani kaigino higher kanda akoigi UV rays visible ray that changa ani reflect of the infrared radiation on reflect or able changa mana UV the aduga reflect of infrared sima so khangchalo and then next question number 11 that with reference to genetic biodiversity consider the following statement koina genetic biodiversity koina biodiversity what say broader scale, smaller scale, the defined over aduga smaller sense adi kedawe narrower view the koina gene makeup the variation labels, genetic variation labels, genetic biodiversity to equa. Aduga koina varieties of life form on the earth ko koina ecosystem diversity na see ecosystem makal terrestrial ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, wetland ecosystem. Sumaya mayam lay is a sina broader sense in ko. Sumaya lay aduna maze ahum thona khai category species biodiversity habanga, then genetic biodiversity habanga, ecosystem biodiversity habanga ko. Ahum thona khai ko. Ahum thona khai do posi the species haragadi akoina species makal phangise. For example, forest amada mammal ki species kyam lay haragadi. Mammals ko human beings khana te adopa species myam laitra. Ha species the base toroga khaido podu bokoina species biodiversity hai ko. And then ecosystem biodiversity haragadi aina high koi grassland ecosystem, wetland ecosystem, forest ecosystem, sea ecosystem makal myam sing se punjalaga for ecosystem biodiversity hai ko. And let's talk about genetic biodiversity questions. Genetic biodiversity hangabanina sdehena focus pirake ko. Genetic biodiversity haragadi nange family de yengo, take a look at your family. You probably look similar to your parents or to your siblings, but exactly similar to your eyes, nose, some part is similar over the that is due to the variation in the genetic makeup. Gyantai kwa adupo koina kai kauge higher kana genetic diversity high kwa. So let's come to the question. Option number 1, it refers to the variation of genes among different species. Different species, yeah, they kwa. You know, I can within a particular species, particular species, then next, higher genetic diversity leads to lesser flexibility in adaptation to environment changes. No. Higher the genetic biodiversity, higher will be the adaptation mode in and to environmental changes. Directly proportional or higher the high adaptation layer kanikwa. Similar. Then next, any doubt? No doubt layer before I proceed to next question. Online Kangbu, do you have any doubts? Doubt lay bro. Like trainer or kwa?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the previous question?
Yes.
Can you please explain more the previous question?
Question number 11. Genetic
Yeah.
biodiversity. Okay, what is your doubt?
I'm not clear to the question, ma'am.
Okay. So it refers to the variation of genes among different species. Option number 1. It's supposed to be, it refers to the variation of gene within a particular species. Genetic variation, gene variation is nothing but the different varieties of gene. For example, in your family, there are different varieties of gene. Might be you might have curly hair, you might have brown eye, your parents might have black eye, then they might have straight hair, and your parent might have been fair in complexion, you might have been darker in complexion. But these variations are due to the variation in the genetic makeup of your family lineage that occurs within the same species. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And then, so the more you have genetic variation, the more you will be able to adapt in the changes in the environment. So next question is, which of the following can be determined by counting the pug marks in different areas? Pug marks are nothing but the footprint of animals. Normally, we record the footprints of cat family. Tiger, the number is lion, tiger. So, what is the option? Presence of different species in the area? Yes, it is correct. Age of different species? Yes. From the footprint, you can get the information of the age of that particular animal. And then sex ratio of different species? Yes. You can record from the footprint whether the animal is female or male. Then next is identification of individual animal. Yes, you can identify it whether it is a lion or it is a tiger or it is an elephant from the footprint. So the above points are all correct. So the correct option will be B for Delhi. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then next is question number 13. So in question number 13, you have to know the definition of eutrophication. Eutrophication ki definition khang ragadi khang hoy ko. Akoina masai land or in our agricultural field season of fertilizer gumba or industry sing season of chemical sing chemical effluent industrial influencing there might be certain chemicals or what to say elements that are very useful for the growth of phytoplanktons and plants on water body. Agricultural field, for example, let's take an example of agricultural field. You might have used NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, fertilizer. Adugi fertilizer sing the runoff the runoff water it falls into bigger water bodies. When it falls into bigger water bodies, what happens is in water bodies we have certain plants, then phytoplanktons, then submerged plants, then floating plants. Lots of varieties of plants are there in the water body. Due to all these rich fertilizers in the water body, it enhances the growth of all these phytoplanktons. Sige phytoplankton ki growth sing se hangala banina kai daure nasagi eutrophication haragadi nasagi phytoplankton ki growth se hangala pamatamda nasagi dissolve water body de laiba dissolve oxygen sing se size handara kaneba jantai ko. So si handara ise kai gino ganda eutrophication thobanina nasagi water body to the plant even the surface will be covered by the plants. And then what happened? The sunlight won't be able to penetrate through the surface of the water. Aduna manungda laiba organisms they won't be able to get enough sunlight for their survival. And even the plants even the phytoplanktons that are present inside the water won't get this sunlight to perform photosynthesis. Obviously, they all will die inside the water body. And after that, dead bodies in the organic matter on top of matanda, you also require oxygen for the conversion of the breaking down the dead bodies. Aduna sigi mayam sina oxygen do manung the photosynthesis there won't be production of oxygen. Again, consumption of oxygen will be high because of for degrading the dead organic matters. Aduna oxygen levels dissolved oxygen levels adukimatic kedawadi low or unable. That is the impact of eutrophication. Eutrophication definition the excessive growth of water plants inside the water bodies due to runoff fertilizers or chemicals from industrial effluents. That is known as eutrophication. In the aduga eutrophication impact ni aina haiduna oxygen demand hengalakpa. So what does the question say? Okay, water bodies are eutrophication thornba causing to okay. Number one, the domestic sewage. Yes, domestic sewage tagisuka. Then agricultural fertilizers. Yes. Then industrial effluents. Yes. So all the above are correct. That is D for Delhi. See question test restoration eutrophication se kaino then question number 14. 14 is about Central Pollution Control Board. Sigumba central legal body adagidi intergovernmental organization mayama private organization maya NGO mayama adum thengarakani ko adum mayamdo panabagidamaktani ko. So let's come to Central Pollution Control Board. See, it's just 2 points on Central Pollution Control Board, that is CPCB. You need to know further about CPCB or in Yumda Sigi body is a body no karamba ek no magi makada magi functions magi authority kyam labor kopa magi structure combined over you have to go and check. So question number option number 1 it can advise the central government on any matter related to the prevention and water control of water and air pollutants. Yes, it is correct. Then it has a journal. It has a network of journal offices called State Pollution Control Board. No. Journal officers are central wing it can central wing State Pollution Control Board SPCB a top entity they are different entities. Amana wing central State Pollution Control Board state government legislation makada form to body they are different entity they are not one body. So option number 2 is wrong. Then question number 15, consider the following statement about wildlife protection. Very important. Sigi X environment power the Sigi X Kangragadi power the Yogdrabaniko. India from the context of India. Sikai Hayek option number 1 that it provides for the appointment of chief wildlife warden by the central government. And then number 2 it prohibits the development of ex situ conservation areas like new zoological and botanical gardens. Number 3 that it was enacted from the protection of both plants and animal species. For the protection, yes. Option number 3 just to me. Then Tulali then number 1 Zulale number 1 state government haigadabani so magi makhada akoina it prohibits the development of new ex situ conservation areas like zoological garden and botanical gardens. Siam laliko wildlife protection eki makhada ni national park, then centuries aduna in situ conservation ni ko the ex situ conservation haragadi magi natural habitat ki wang da maze brought up to biraba ko adu bo koine ex situ conservation hai ko for example zoo gumba botanical garden gumba then cryopreservation gumba sigumba mayam se it is all included under ex situ conservation ko is also a mode of conservation for wildlife aduna sigi wildlife so masagi wildlife protection sea conservation is wildlife protection gi makada to hole ko so wildlife protection act 1972 ki makada both ex situ and in situ conservation are allowed yantai ko then next question number 16 the which of the following is or are the impacts of acid rain yang siko it inhibits the activity of nitrogen fixing bacteria. Then it leads to the leaching away of nutrients from soil, correct? It protects trees from pathogens and drought. Very, very wrong. Option number 3 is wrong. One, to make nitrogen fixing bacteria the magi activities inhibit we have is a very true. Mana interfere right of doing it leads to the leaching away of essential gas. Sisu chumiko migi essential nutrients in do kainoto hongiba mana wash to kiba adagidi maga form toroga toxic compound form toropa ko adugi possibility am lay ko so 2 chumiko so 1 and 2 are correct so the correct option is C 16 is C or amniko yes. Then question number 17 with reference to species interaction, the term antibiosis refers to a kind of species interaction, organism interaction, commensalism, then mutualism, species interaction species interaction is commensalism nama tamni commensalism de kai daure commensalism de amana kana doiba ko species amaga di mabani se interaction lainarani dana interaction laina basida amada de kanarani amada di kanaroi doine ba ko amada de negative effect lai doine ba ko sibo ko ni commensalism ko we commensalism ja koina makal ani thona khaidoi amana competition hai bam ne competition ne tonga me entity oina jo thamba yawe ko competition ja ada kharamana commensalism gi manung chan thamba su yawe ko magi interaction mo to mana bagi ada sida koina competition hai banga antibiosis hai banga antibiosis sida su ke dore interaction to na matam da amana gain to doini amana mang doini ba ko so antibiosis study ke dore number 1 the man has okay the term antibiosis refers to production of secretion by an organism which is harmful to others. Then number B, an interaction where one organism derives nourishment from another organism. Then number C, the conflict between organisms of two different species for a limited essential resource. And number 3, an interaction where one species benefits and the other remains unaffected. Wrong. So the correct option will be A. Magi nasagi secretion se organism amadagi magi secretion for example bread mold penicillium je sidagi penicillin haiba se produce secretion ne ba penicillium dagi se secretion the bacteria ma si Sigi was a Tangarakadagi, according antibiotics sagri neighbor qua. Penicillin antibiotics set, Jantai qua. Si say upon a bread mold the Magi penicillin putopo set, Mag secretoraga atopa bacteria may have the effect of that. Si say it's one typical example of biogenesis, antibiosis qua. Other than the correct option will be A. Then 18 the last 18 the 18 which of the following is a site for ex situ method of biodiversity conservation? Botanical garden, zoo, national park. In a previous question, the higher national park, then sanctuaries, biosphere reserve, conservation reserve, see things there. It's nothing but in situ conservation. Then ex situ conservation ID, conservation occurs outside its natural habitat. For example, zoo gumba, zoological gardens. Then botanical garden gumba, tissue culture gumba, cryopreservation gumba, siguma seed banks gumba, siguma mayam say it comes under ex situ conservation. Aduga akoina hana leramba magi natural habitat haidare natural habitats dagi organ species sama pra extinct extinct in the wild extinct haragadi magi natural habitat dagi di maze pra extinct ko magi kanom ta lehoroi aduga species amta lehoroi but magi embryonic khangde magi kaino se koina preserve toroga thamoba kangbu singse sibu extinct khai ado extinct in the wild haragadi khogi preservation ani khangde magi natural habitat ani khangde pura completely mangraba extinct ko that recover to where the book extinct in the wild hai ado species ama magi natural habitat gi extinct ko agre but magi embryonic khangde magi tissue ni khangde akoina preserve to thamoba kangbu singse magi natural habitat aduda mu reintroduce to matam na khangbra sise akoina ex situ conservation ena lawneba magi natural habitat reintroduced to when we are not going to consider it as a in situ conservation but it is a form of ex situ conservation yantai ko similarly. So the correct answer is botanical garden and zoo 1 and 2 B for Bombay. Then question number 19 the last say consider the following statement regarding CITES convention. CITES are a convention of international trade in endangered species of wild fauna and flora hai ba CITES ki full form se khangzalo we normally use flora and fauna flora and fauna se dum chat khini sedi fauna and flora hai bani similarly aduga maze international agreement ni multilateral haidi khogi multi country me am punjalaga pura agreement amani adu maze kanagi makhada tauge hai kanda masagi IUCN meeting amada porakiba agreement amani sise site se aduga magi question it aims at in situ conservation of animals and plants. It is legally binding on the parties of the convention. Then it was recently adopted in the Paris Climate Conference. La leko haidi madi site sikai no ha kan akogi flora and fauna singi magi specimen oi bayai magi part oi bayai any si singze illicit trade tawna base country to country trade tawna base sit thingna ba for example akoina ancient India da ancient China da akogi tiger ki blood kaze bithakna eba as one of the treatment for their diseases adu sigumba mayam je kai dore animals and exploit tori gatra adagidi akoina na saibo hare samu mayaga je country amade Africa dagi to different parts of the world kai dawi trade tawnari ne ba ko sigumba mayam je thingna ba kai gidamakta to conserve the wildlife see so it doesn't have to do anything with in situ conservation trade to illicit trade which is against the law ornamental plants so khoi manipur do ornamental plants has orchid has ne orchid se khoi manipur da yam rang kai boko ado without proper guidelines ko khoi na mi lamda loi na export che ekta ayo with the array mi wild hobo kai ka do mi na demand to re haidana khoi na ayo loi na array bagai log thuoga akhoi di khaloi doine paisa do khatang u doine boko mingon da loi na yon thokiba matam da akhoi da lehogidra akhoi gi native species sing do leiroi ko sigumba se akhoi ne illicit trade hai ko sigumba mayam se over exploitation ja thingna bagi da maktani ko masai gi sites hai je aduga ma se karam kan ne adopt to gya ka 1963 de adopt to ko recently na te ko it is an old organization convention namani ko aduga karaida nasagi IUCN gi meeting amada 1963 da maze adopt to gibani ko so option number 3 is wrong option number 1 is wrong yes maze legally binding oi ko noine any agreement ma sign tong na matam da regarding biodiversity conservation gi oi bi and then climate change ki oi bi ko simyam sign tong na matam da whether it is legally binding to the member countries or not sima khangjalu ko sima yeng ko any kind of power matam any protocol any agreement power matam da ko si ja maru oi gyan dai ko then next option say B for Bombay 2 only ni ko biopiracy same thing biopiracy as you know consider the following statement number 1 that it is an unauthorized use of biological reserve by entities outside a country which has pre-existing knowledge of rare biological reserves. It is linked only to drug research and development. Yes. See question is the biopiracy less developed less unfortunate area biological reserve biological resources less less developed place multinational companies countries without giving proper information to the people of that places if it is done according to the laws the native people are going to deprived because of lack of knowledge aduga moigagi resources exploit biopiracy biopiracy even biotechnology field also biopiracy it is known as biopiracy aduga area the build biopiracy it does not only deal with research and development it is also deal with entities in agricultural then industrial context so linked with biopiracy so question number 20 the 1 is correct and option number 2 is wrong so the correct answer will be A. Then next question number 21 consider the following statement with regard to the harmful effects of chemical in drinking water. Yes, number 1 the excessive sulfate in drinking water causes blue baby syndrome. Blue baby syndrome ni kanana cause nitrate excessive nitrate in water drinking water causes blue baby syndrome. Excessive sulfate natte then next sulfate the kai thok ha kan da koi ma je am severe ba laina ri thokte excess or kan da laxative effect lai ba do koi bowel kai no to ba evacuate to ba je ji chang hangalak pai ta ko adu du bu koi na excessive sulfate in drinking water or kan da thoi ko aduga blue baby syndrome di nitrate in drinking water do oigadaba ko then deficiency of fluorine in drinking water causes tooth decay okay correct oi ko kaigino ha kanda fluorine it is required in small quantity for the well-being of our teeth ko yagi damakta aduga fluorine excess hela excess te yawra kana fluorosis haiba laina ma yagi laina ma thokani ko disorder ama aduga fluorine deficient wara kana to decay obese sume ko the high concentration of lead in drinking water can cause damage a kidney and liver ko question number 21 ata 21 say lead hoko not correct having ko questions so high concentration of lead in drinking water can damage a kidney and liver yes chumikosis aduna asagi which of the statement given above is or are not correct having ko so one je landoi ni ko so question da karamana chumi karamana lali is or not che yawra mun check to ko ai ju je mistake ama commit to then question number 22, which of the following international organization categorizes the animal species and publishes a red list of threatened species? Red list IUCN list that is International Union for Conservation of Nature. United Nations Environment Program, WWF, then CITES, then IUCN, low important for organization so you go home after the discussion nursery organizations they are important thoroughly then question number 23 the last which of the following best defines the term biomagnification it's nothing but Nasagi energy di kedore ayang asai ke normal holder energy say unidirectional or high from producer to top consumer level energy say akoina 10% high to be more precise energy say tropic level amadagina amada habadi organism amadaina amada transfer to matamda 70 to 80% retain the honi ko organism da ganda ko aduga for example plant se human beings plant masare khalobo ko pambi masare ko pambi sa ba se pambi da yawe ba total energy si dagi I want to transfer to ro ko do je 10 to 20% khatane ba energy se ko ganda ko as we go up higher in the tropic level, there is a reduce in the availability of energy. Energy do less or the tropic level kudingi tropic level say seldom 5-6 tropic levels yam tang yamna kaino je kaino harakan yamna general or yamna common over tropic levels 4 walking neighbor kaino haragana 5-6 so the availability of energy is very less to support any life form yantai ko aduna similar aduna nasagi energy tropic level lokai energy reduce or however toxic substance tropic levels that phenomenon is known as biomagnification for example DDT plant sai ba matam da magi traces amount sa plant yaw ba matam da plant sai ba animal masam sa da mu hengalani animal lagi amu adu depend ba bigger animal ga mu hengalani top consumer level da ne ba yamne hene yaw do je ba magnification je ko adu da ne akoina toxic koi ba human beings sa yamna sok da ba har bu chairo chemical fertilizer bu chairo akoina yang kana kain ois organic oina bu khana si hona si hai se ko similar then question number 20 ga kya sugre 20 24 da kay layer yes question number 24 da consider the following phases of disposal of waste using sanitary landfill system is she say no explanation P online kambu khum jise ga loi tum mazalo
PD ma'am.
okay so I explain to okay ko consider the following disposal for waste using sanitary landfill system ko sida kai dawi number 1 the aerobic si step ni ko yengwai je waste kaino da kaino disposal of waste sanitary landfill system da adana noi si je phajana pa ba darkar oi ai bo hairam ge ai budi aerobic bacteria deplete the available oxygen. Number 2, the establish of methanogenic activity. Then number 3, the establish of anaerobic conditions. Number 4, the depletion of organic matters. So my option mari p base mana high say chronological order do high chronological order is first phase of the operation. Se kaino hara kanda koina aerobic bacteria se deplete the available oxygen. Oxygen yariba pots the yariba pot me oxygen me am don asagi aerobic bacteria fazal laga mane sizina tholaga asagi oxygen do depletion tholani and then second phase ta pedorani oxygen do yawdrabanina anaerobic condition haragadi in the absence of oxygen habni dana ko aduna nasagi anaerobic conditions second phase the when the depletion of oxygen takes place ko adulwa kanda asagi anaerobic activities hawlaneba condition that is the second phase then second phase da kadawi akoina hydrogen gumba carbon dioxide gumba kaino torani evolve torani ko kaigino kana sai oxygen mu gi absence ta torabanina and then next phase 3 da kadawre nasagi bacteria gi kaino singse populations increase halane ba ko in kaino nasagi oxygen yawdaba matamda aduga next bacteria gi kaino se population se increase tawbina methanogenic activities ju kogi methanogenic activity haraga dina sagi methane guma produce tawba kogi dead decay da oxygen anaerobic condition da ko tawba sida methane guma produce tawba je sibo koina methanogenic activity hai ko then number 4 da kaidoga ha kanda na sagi methanogenic activity se hawalani step 3 da step 4 da phana establish tawalani step 5 ta de kaidora step 5 ka di methanogenic activity do torabanina la sai organic matter mayam do kaidorani degrade torani deplete torani ko jantai ko adugi matung da mu step number 1 je mu repeat torakadoi ni smaina kogi waste disposal system the solid waste disposal system da si degrade tongnaba sigi system da tawise sigi process ne ba ko aduna kaino yenga si number 1 the aerobic bacteria deplete the available oxygen number 1 se dum lai jarani ko the aerobic oirabanina nasagi oxygen level do nemda alani oxygen do deplete to alani adagiri next step the anaerobic activity established to doini ko aduna next step will be option number 3 ko 1 ga 3 ga next establishment of methanogenic activity ko sina number 3 warani then last step the kind of depletion of organic matters na last step according to the question. So the order will be 1, 3, 2, and 4. 1, 3, 2, and 4. The option number C or option number C or then next next question number 25. Consider the following statement with reference to the flow of energy in a food chain. See, I explain the energy flow in a food chain is always unidirectional in nature, correct? Then the loss of energy at its tropic level is in the range of 10 to 15% wrong, 10 to 20%. Body 80 to 90% have any cost, so it has to be 10 to 20% loss. Loss see question the loss of energy at its tropic level is in the range of 80 to 90% only 10 to 20% higher at tropic level, the greater is the available energy. Wrong. Available energy is a tropic level. Tropic level 5, 6 rare and 3 is the energy available less life in the support of similar. Question number 26. Question number 26. Which of the following is the correct order of steps involved in environment impact assessment? Environment impact assessment, it's nothing but any developmental project, human beings, any project, project and to the environment. The negative impact and the positive impact that the project causes in the environment. Assess environmental impact assessments that we got. Foreign steps it's steps steps involved questions steps number 1 the decision making, scoping, and then screening, impact prediction Marie minor pyramid Marie screening and then next scoping then next impact prediction then next decision making final or for a environmental impact assessment is reliable source of the magi step ma'am no phajana khunjalo important environment impact assessment we have the latest to then next any project environment impact assessment project any person entrepreneur project environment project environment assess then next question number 27 the last the species that invade a bare area are called pioneer species. Yes, in primary succession in water, which of the following species acts as a ecological succession se see question jaha pe je kai gino ha kanda you have to know thoroughly about ecological succession ko ecological succession gi part ma sam khatane sida yawrai je si yahola kana noi the ecological succession je phajana khangna bani ko sida hai je haibadi in a bare area amada hadi lifeless oiba mafam amada area amda ko sida kaidaurakani haya kanda asagi biological community mathang involved tawrokna last phajana khundaraga lei ise sigi kaino succession je mathang yamna step mayam involved toibo ko that you have to know aduduni ko koina succession je makhalani thona khaidre chawrangna koina primary succession haibanga secondary succession haibanga ko primary succession di lifeless area amda ko another life form introduced ko do khana layamba mafam do koina mai chakre khaloba mai chakra pura tumdana amata do life form have do amta laitre na khaloba ko sigumba lifeless area amada another community or another life ama kaino horokpa matanda ko horokpa matanda sai hana disaster thokna mangda lairamiba community singdo adu na involved tawdaba adu ga related oidaba pura no tonga community ama horako kaino introduce tawko adu bo koina primary succession hai ko aduga kaidare secondary succession di it follows a disruption of a pre-existing community that existed in the same ecosystem habadi hana lairamiba mafam maze disaster ma thokodagi pura lifeless oireba ko lifeless oire pambi dagi animal dagi microorganism dai anta laitre mafam sida ko laite base kedoi somehow asagi hana gi pre-existing community do hana lajeremiba community do aduna influence oraga aduga related oiba anoba koigi life ama new habitat ama form torogadi dubu kune secondary succession hai ko aduga sida kai hare secondary question number kaya 27 okay mana water da kaidore water da primary succession da kanana pioneer oina act toge habani ko water gi da primary succession je koina phytoplankton la kadoini primary succession je ko aduna it has to be only one small phytoplankton ni matung da koina floating angiosperm la kani ko floating angiosperm ni matung da mu rooted floating angiosperm la kani then rooted floating angiosperm ni matung da asagi rich swarm yes rich swarm sela kani rich swarm haragadi nasagi koigi rooted floating angiosperm sing dabdi koigi tharo thambal gumba howing je moje rooted floating haiba ko makha marali makha ta dro aduga ho satra mathata satro ado siguba mayam na punjalaga rich swarm se form tawani rich swarm se gi matunda marsh midola kani marsh midodagi tapna koina forest climax stable forest community ama form tawani sai water du su tapna evolution ni ko sidi water du tapna koina kai form tawakani land form tawakani ba ko aduga koi forest form tawakani ba gantai ko sibo koina asagi ecological succession hai ko horen phajana sigi matang na pabiyo so the correct answer will be A ko then next which of the following is or are the features of grassland ecosystem yes grassland ecosystem the akhoi ecosystem ma ming thol matamda mangonda phangiba species mayam de kwadagi abundant species so adugi maming loga tholi likewise grassland community grassland ecosystem da kai grassland polynoir kana magi majority of the species of grasses na oibudo grassland ecosystem haina grass atang phangona te ko marak ta adum shrubs kumba adum masam la khaga hawi adagidi Masagi animal samsa theba uchi adagi frog siguma mayam su lay ko grassland ecosystem da adu major community do grassland ecosystem falling ko. So grassland have a rich variety of animal si animi ko chumi ko adagi di optimum condition for the growth of trees. No, grassland the grassland the trees how ngam de mogi adugi soil adagidi magi rainfall desert dagidi amu grassland community da rainfall kara kendwe ne bako adugu magi rainfall na mu it's not sufficient for the growth of trees. Trees survive to number rainfall do so option number 2 is wrong. Then soil in grassland are characterized by thin podols. Podols high the structures of the karamba soil the fungi temperate region cold climate condition the adugumba condition the podols not in grassland ecosystem. So the correct answer will be number 1 only. A. Then 29 the last say 29 the consider the following statement biological oxygen demand biological oxygen demand. Sise kai da lai akoi ne eutrophication na saita ki do ko adagi biological oxygen demand higher di akoi na kaino kanda is a measure of the amount of oxygen required to dissolve organic material in the water. System biological oxygen demand BOD pollutants handling biological oxygen demand pollution biological oxygen demand obviously so yes, question number 2 option number 2 highly polluted water has a very low biological oxygen demand. Wrong. Highly polluted water the biological oxygen demand will be very high. Make dissolved oxygen do aquatic habitat that car drop more survive to no polluted dissolved oxygen do abundant marang kai do nebako adum konaja do sufficient way do ni adubu water na polluted or karana sagi biological oxygen demand do kedorani oxygen the dissolved oxygen do adu handa halani handara barina aquatic water do laiba aquatic animals in do mogi animals or bi plants or bi mogi oxygen demand hangala anebako less dissolved oxygen yaraba lairabanina polluted already inverse polluted already oxygen demand so option number 2 will be wrong. Number 1 katang sume ko 29 is A orangani ke huji phauda kyam chumoga kyam la lage takha thage ba kangbu hairo ma cái negative lo chalabo tumma baba ta khumo in lauri se noi kya lai ri ge sibo ai bo then next ko question jeng arang lu da noi da how do you find the question level lo amta hairo da online gangbu
Ma'am koi exam tha da bu yawi.
Okay, tha bam te yaudra noi. Anyway, thao ya tha de noi mi kya lai noi ahum mari khata ngai ra ba
Koi taruk lai mar
taruk san tha da bra ba question se kamane tauge hangning manoi difficulty level to no adu da khangdo no preparation phadana tawbura natra kai da soi haige do kai da soi ge do khangdo ne adu ki hang bani da next up the question is except for some the question is very basic kwa aduna mathang da di standard katang ohelakani ko so question number 30 the last say with reference to different levels of organization in ecology consider the following yes ecological hierarchy hai ko is ecological hierarchy is level of organization in organism ko biology da cell lagi horaga cell lagi kai la tissue lagi kai la organ lagi organ system lagi individual ma sabado adu ki type da sumaina tawdana akhoi da ecology da hierarchy le ko ecological hierarchy di kai dai honi ha ka ne individual dai hodoi ne ko individual me am punjalaga population form dawni ko population singna different population di kai no of the same species or ka doi ni ko mi gi population census thi matam da no kai gi hodogi yawro yawde ko that means population haraga di same species or ga ko then next population में हम पूछा लगा population में हम हरागा दी it can be of different species का different species to population सिंग तो पूछा लगा community form तो रखनी community में हम पूछा लगा biome से समझन गए को अदो वो सीधा लाग से community includes the organisms of the same species they are in proximity to one another sila le ko it has to be the definition of population ki definition ni ko question number 1 se next say population refers to all the species occupying in a given area ko is the community ki definition oigada ko so 1 and 2 are wrong then let's come to 3 biome is a large regional ecosystem characterized by similarity in vegetation and climate yes biomes large regional ecosystem mayam ma punjalaga form tawdoi ni ko biome gyan tai ko sibok dia biome adagidi adu aragadi question number 30 gi chumise 3 only c ko c oigadaba कोइना biome haragadi terrestrial biome kan aquatic biome kan terrestrial biome da yaudoi je different ecosystem lai roidra wetland ecosystem yaragani then atopa ecosystem haragadi forest ecosystem the terrestrial ecosystem sumana myam yawi na ko si myam punjalaga biome form to ko doi ni ko then next
ma'am kanamta hangjawbne
hango
hojiki biomes tu ne
ha
biosphere ga je kamaina moy mai leina bra koin biosphere ji
yes a very good question biome sing the punjalaga biosphere or ka deba yanda bra
tai
biosphere hadine koigi atmosphere ne lithosphere ne then hydrosphere khagina land water air se si ahum jegi junction se sibo koina biosphere hai bako biosphere is the life form that survive to doine ba it supports the where it is the place where life exists koina prithvi de life exists story ba mafam sing je it is biosphere jantai ko biomes me am punjalaga biosphere form to doiba kaigino aquatic biomes the terrestrial biome simeam je punsalaganda biosphere oidoine ba ko aduna biosphere is nothing it is a part of the earth where life exists oi ga di water su phangni land su laini air su phangni yan ta bra tai ko
yes ma'am Di ma'am maduna si biome je koi Antarctica je Antarctica je ma je biosphere moi oiduran tra biomes ta
biome sing ak tu
biomes ta
adagidi next akoi biosphere the whole earth ne where life exists can dai kwa.
Yes ma'am.
Then next question number 31, with reference to photochemical smoke, consider the following statement. Photochemical smoke ay ngay the seal palese kogi London smoke kan leko adagidi photochemical smoke se New York smoke Los Angeles smoke so hainai ko photochemicals aduna sigi smoke se koin air pollution da koin secondary pollutants primary pollutants kan lai adugumba do pahaning bai ni ko aina sigi kaino photochemical smoke palamisa GNG ko it occurs mainly in warm dry and sunny weather. Photochemical smoke se form to matamda koi sunlight darkar oibo ko sunlight darkar oibanina it has to be obviously sunny di oitaba ko sunny weather oragadi obviously warm orani jantai ko aduga summer smoke ana su khangnamani ko sije aduga next it results in the creation of ground level ozone. Yes, ground level ozone form tawda mana mateng pangi ko aduna nasagi 31 se both 1 and 2 the chumdoi ko aduga akoina ground level ozone gas se as long as it stays in the stratosphere ko stratosphere gi ozonosphere haiba mafam sida ozone sing se laidoini si mafam da laige ozone se good ozone go ko. But when it is present near the surface of the earth, kedawi maza bad ozone hayabako. Ozone it is one of the gases greenhouse contribute over mani ko ozone ze phate ko madi near the surface of the earth. Aduna madi stratosphere lairige madi phai ko. Then next up adana ozone the good ozone bad ozone haragadi khango bad ozone haragadi khogi near the surface of the earth rakan ozone the bad ozone haibuko. Then next with reference to Biosphere Reserve, consider the following statement. Number 1 yes when a Biosphere Reserve say I know whiteboard is the Biosphere Reserve say akoina zone ahum thona khaidoi innermost zone no core zone high aduga mayai thangma zone do buffer zone high and outermost zone na akoina transition zone high ko transition zone it is where wildlife meets human beings ko aduga core area da yamna sensitive oiba kaino sing do thammi ko flora and fauna sing do core zone da lehali sidhi totally away from human disturbances. Jadi kananda na interfere to where chang mosu kai. Amte yade ko except for with prior permission galauraga research and development gi thabaki natana ko ato pakai amte human interference amte yade. Then buffer adi hiking gumba fishing gumba up to some extent yahale ko but yahale is limited only. Under proper supervision makha amda ko aduga kaino nadi transition zone nadi adum akoi gi activities haidi yam hena exploit to handraga so forest product for akoi gi yum gi consumption gi damak ta ko twigs kumba firewoods masam gumba lohonba adagidi grazing gumba to hanba ko adagidi akogi cultivation gumba mogi on consumption gi damata cultivation masam gumba to homba sidi yahalle ba ko sisina transition zone oigada ba ko so mara kai hari sida the core zone consists of undisturbed and legally protected ecosystem correct the buffer zone is the outermost zone of the biosphere is wrong ko aduna number 1 only that is a ko. Then next 33 with reference to wind energy consider the following statement. It is a non-polluting source of energy. To make up, pung di phazara me ay kitang matam he loge theng na hogi bani na ko. Then, with reference to wind energy, consider the following statement. It is a non-polluting source of energy. Yam to make up. Wind farms can be located in the coastal regions only. Wrong. Offshore, onshore, have any kind of kainoze. Aduna coastal region khatangna na te adai changjal la kanda khoina onshore da so dum tawba yai ko land area ko aduda install tawba yai wind farms it doesn't have to be only in coastal regions. Then next, India's wind energy program is the largest in the world. Wrong. China stood first in the production of wind energy ko alna 2 and 3 say lale lamado isan biramu kai da lale no ha kan da ko land da su ai 2 do ko adagiri 3 di China ni ko India na te aduna only one is correct A or ka din ko 3 do. Then 34 the paralysis of solid waste refer Uzaina solid waste ki the si mayam waste disposal ki mayam hangize. It is one of the problem nowadays ko ki dustbin ka waste material ka dispose to mafam layak tra bane ba husi se ko ado ko yum daga collect obula is I don't know where they are Manipur so dum dam to boze tokhale ko anywhere koi lam fel la kai da dam toksan bane ba ko proper treatment of the solid waste treatment je to gada bane maye ki di ko aduna tragedy after few years ko koi so dum polluted over environment more kani and it will contribute to global warming also. So paralysis of solid waste paralysis hai the high temperature to doine ba ko paralysis se ID high temperature da solid waste se burn to ni kaida in the absence of oxygen is a record da anaerobic oidoini aduga magi production se akona charcoal gumba adagidi acetic acid acetone tar gumba produce to ko aduna magi byproducts se sigi solid waste burn to bogia paralysis through the process of paralysis si se akona amu reuse to boya my byproducts se aduna paralysis ki definition je ko high temperature aerobic incineration aerobic tiadre ko in the absence of oxygen habanina. Number B the high temperature anaerobic distillation of waste for energy generation is correct. For energy generation ID we use to we have the dubuniko. Then 35 the among the statements given below select the ones that are correct. Okay, coral bleaching, it's one of the very important topic from exam point of view. Coral bleaching which can oil spill pollution to air water body ko aduna marine pollution haina is si yamna kaino oiba sensitive oiba kaino amani ko problem amani aduna yengji coral bleaching je coral gi matang se coral has a symbiotic relation with zooxanthellae is algae mamangi kaino ni ko makhalamani ko. Yes, correct. Mabani is a symbiotic relationship. The symbiotic relationship se kaino habdo animal which animal kana ba pinaba do ko amana ama abadi kamaina pi coral na magi coral je akoi gi polyp na form to bane magi hard cover oi ba ko magi se colorless oi ko coral je ada sigi magi hard cover je calcium carbonate ni ko si calcium carbonate se magi skeleton je form do da darkar oi ba ko calcium carbonate se kana na supply to wi zooxanthellae na to wi ko adagi zooxanthellae na mu algae ni mare photosynthesis to wi ko photosynthesis darkar oi ba sai gi tenoze components je mala pb ba ko kaino na coral na almain to na mabani je symbiotic relationship lainai aduga zooxanthellae provide the coral with fixed carbon compound to make for the formation of kai form to na calcium carbonate skeleton do ko. And again number 3 that the beautiful colors of the coral reef are due to the zooxanthellae. Yes, very correct. Akhoi gi zooxanthellae is na sai gi si algae je yaw draga di colorless whitish color coral symbiotic relationship associate coral coral reef Great Barrier Reef algae but due to external factors adverse effect external factors pollution climate change algae coral colorful nature and that condition is known as floral bleaching. You need to know more about coral bleaching, effect, causes, economically point of view, environmental point of view. Then next Then next question number 36. Question number 36, the Montrex record. Yes. See Ramsar Convention see Ramsar Convention nothing but wetland related for the conservation of wetland Ramsar Convention in a city called Iranian city the Ramsar city wetland conservation sida Ramsar site Ramsar Convention sida wetland list wetland list hena pibam sokpa hena social pibam soiba or solakadaba Montrex record Montrex record it is a record under Ramsar Convention pibam sokpa India Loktak Lake Manipur Loktak Lake Chilika Lake Ramsar Convention for the first time Loktak Lake and Chilika Lake were included in the Montrex record after a few years body effort Chilika Lake Orishada Lake Montrex record Loktak Lake is still included in the Montrex record. Recently, Keoladio National Park in Rajasthan has been included in the Ramsar Convention. Montrex record. 1992 the Loktak Lakes government side effort Loktak Lake then 37 lakhs most of the following statements are correct. Mangroves, yes, mangrove ecosystem important topic geography mangrove of Sundarban are the largest in the world. Then mangroves have special roots such as prop roots and pneumatophores. Prop roots are the aerial roots prop roots aerial roots prop roots branches or stem support pneumatophores prop roots sometimes they are modified to exchange gases with the atmosphere gas exchange roots aerial roots pneumatophores mangroves mangrove prevent coastal erosion. Yes, coastal erosion sandy soil alluvial soil flow hit they are liable to they are prone to erosion, but masai mangrove ki roots kai ka mayam na phajal la kan da moi je erode to bodo prevent to we ba. So mangrove prevent coastal erosion is very correct ko. Similarly, then next consider the following pairs ko: Biosphere Reserve, Nokrek ne, Simlipal ne, Nanda Devi. I think Nokrek ne Meghalaya da, Simlipal ne Odisha da, Nanda Devi ne Uttarakhand da. So all of them are correct. So the correct option will be D for Delhi, 1 to 3 is ko. Smile out na doing a environment power matamda sanctuary gumba, biosphere reserve gumba, national park gumba dum kani ko. How come I say kamjal lokana kada lay ge have do. First of all, ha na kamdo is a kogi karamba state lay ko. Karamba state lay have a kango. Hi ba national park or biosphere reserve to the mo kari river power cheli. Sisu hangi ko. UPSC da hangmani ko. The next up, then magi geographical condition do ID maase kai state ki boundary de laiba national park biosphere reserve share kani ko adu singdo adu su khangjan biu ko na pa matam da. And then next up, which with reference to thermal pollution, consider the following statement. Thermal pollution haragadi water ki temperature hengatlakanda akoigi aduda water body duda lairamiba organisms in the effect on the effect of the. So number one is it is an increasing and most current form of pollution. Then number two the kai hare, it is not related to the deforestation. Then number three the it increases the level of dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen ki level handale sima chumme. Then next up, it is not related to deforestation. Silale ko deforestation ga number lane. Then it is an increasing and most current form of pollution. Sima chummi ko kamaya no ha kanda khoi ko khoi industries in the manufacturing industry ni khangde adagidi any industrial plant amada mogi kaino singdo machine singdo sagalakanda koina ising je haijalakanda coolant when seasonal jana ising je sigi coolant when seasonal ba ising je after it is being used moje kaidorani ising je asa boina thadora ne ko asaba thadora kanda asije mo water body the Thadara Kana de Sigi Asabas number Moraga, Mana Thadora even Mapam the Layer Miba, Kaino Singo survived the Wonga Mojo neighbor. Since they are Yamuna Gumba, Ganga Gumba, the UP the Kainome am lazy, Tiny industry factory me amal in factories, a industrial revolution la in the other Europe, Homatamadi. Akoi turi pa da anamba kaino sizinay sagi ba ko factory sing si sa matam sida availability of water ne mo inda car oil nasagi machine kai ka do ingda hanaba mo ising do tonga laude ade mo gi phata haudi me am lo na water body da thadara ni including the hot water ko hot water do ne aduna khoi thermal pollution ai je ko gya dai ko aduma leire akoi da marine hai ne water the aquatic animals in Jana, they are all cold blooded or coluna moi the variation in temperature those kind of the adapt to wongam deba kwa aduma laire. So question number 39 the option C or any kwa ID causes not only deforestation kwa deforestation, soil erosion to OBI, then nasagi अखोगी लंबी दगी कई दगी इसिंग चेनरक पदुसु ओबे याय को अखोई साकाले मतम दा दुगुम इसिंग दो khoi surface sagat lidena ko dugum lai chanda bai sing do obviously warm oine ba ko adagi di khoi gi natural the calamities like khoi gi volcanoes geothermal activities si mayam da su torpa yai ko and then similar then next question number 40 ga 40 ga 3 the 40 the criteria of a reason to qualify a hotspot. Yes, hotspot biological hotspot ni ko se that biological wala me biological hotspot hara ga di kai no hara kanda nasagi hotspot ama declare to ga hara ga di mafam je ga dawra ni hara kanda ya mafam ji species se documentic marang kai ko species sam tina marang kai mafam ho ga da ba plus marang kai brother no na the labor most of the species say endemic species or neighbor endemic species higher the kind of kind of mafam do khatang da confined to like which is found nowhere in the world ko adu ko koina endemic species hai ne ba ko adagiri next up mana is a 75% depletion of its original habitat hai ko nasagi biodiversity hotspot se it has to lose at least 75% of its original habitat hai na ko aduna 75 se 70% oigedamani ko aduna si se question number 40 gi kaino se ki je 1 and 2 oirakani b oirakani ko then question number 41 the yes, a climate agenda called Fit for 55 to combat climate change has been launched recently by Canada, the European Union to deal climate change. Cause minor agenda, climate agenda, was related to current affairs. Siguma mayam jo khangzalo adagidi climate change conference member recently kaya conference to agreement punaraki have a then next up which of the following are potential benefits of coastal marshes and wetland kamuni ko size kay higher number 1 they are as migration area for they act as migration areas for bird and animal very true hadi wetlands things koina conserve to na bo dai je kai gina kan koi thai di wetlands party komthi ka hai nei ko see party komthi ja it is of great importance ko kai gino ai kan da ana ko da lei water body to the sumoi di impact am thina lei ko positive impact and then it supports a variety of life form hai tare ko sida sakta ga lei bu check variety me ama lei then kaino to kan the migration to animal kai ka then adum id species am rich way ko sai kaino mafam je wetlands ing je similarly number 1 is sume then next number 2 they purify and recharge the groundwater siam tichu mi ko aduga next number 3 that they prevent contamination of well in coastal area. Sina coastal marshes singsna ko moina filtrate mechanism hai tare ko moina laiduni ko filter toraga. Then next number 4 they protect the coastline from storms and cyclones. Question number 42. They protect the coastline from storms and cyclones. Sisa sumiko aduna 42 say number 1, 2, 3, and 4 option will be A or Nico. Flood kumba thola ko dum protection P ko. Aduga nasagi water quality da shu adum phali water quality se kaino near moina lai water body do adugi water quality se moina phata holi thing do adum filtrate to bi ba hai tare ko adu da su mateng pangi ko. And then next consider the following with respect to ozone depletion ko. Ozone depletion da kai higher chlorofluorocarbon are non-toxic organic molecules that help in ozone depletion. Then number 3, the polar stratospheric clouds provide a surface for the reaction causing ozone depletion. And polar stratospheric cloud ozone depletion ni kamaina substance na kamaina react we ozone kamaina formation lay kotli have the pow have about polar stratospheric cloud sima pow. Then number 3, the free chlorine radicals form when CFC are broken down by the UV radiation. So you need to know thoroughly about ozone depletion. See question CD kitang standard level question but still this is a basic ID book it's not related to current affairs or something else. Aduga next question number 44, which of the following are examples of intraspecific interaction? Intraspecific interaction haragadi kaino harakanda khoi intra id same member habni ko aduna same habani aduna same species ki member gaido adugi interaction dani ko ada this is koina type say intraspecific interaction ki type se koina photo cooperation I mean colonization se a type of intraspecific interaction ni adagiri social organization so a type of intraspecific organization ni ko. However photo cooperation di kaino harakanda nasai it involves 2 different species photo cooperation da, and also symbiosis also it involves 2 different species symbiotic relationship nasai algae ga kaino ga do polyp ka do adu ani do coral polyp to aduga algae ga in zooxanthellae gi relationship to adu different species soidra adugu ni ko koina symbiotic relationship haise sila aggregation so aggregation di intraspecific way ko. So 1 and 2 will be correct ko adu 3 4 sidi interspecific way gadawani ko intra nate ko. Then 45 the last which of the following condition is or are suitable for high rate of decomposition? High decomposition to haragadi it has to have high temperature plus moisture content should be very high. Adus the high temperature low moisture content it has to be high moisture content low moisture content dry ingba temperature it inhibits the activities of the decomposers aduna 2 zalale 1 to me then 3 the detritus rich in nitrogen. It is correct 1 and 3 C or anequa. Then 46 the last 46 which of the following statement with reference to consider the following statement with reference to conservation of soil niqua. So the alternate cropping using grains and legumes increases the fertility of the soil. Yes, leguminous plant it has the ability to fix nitrogen nitrogen atmospheric nitrogen is fixed oraga nitrate form the convert oraga nitrates neba koina plant use to bonga mize aduna nitrates se nasagi leguminous plant na nitrogen is fixed to bonga meba to patingam deko. There are certain types of plants that can fix nitrogen ko moise kedoge moina nitrogen is fixed oraga nitrate olaga nasagi soil da nitrate ki availability je hangal halaga di soil fertility hangal to ye bako aduna nitrate to nitrogen fixation number plant ne legumes grains kumbaze khoi hawai track kumbaze is a leguminous plant ne bako similar. And then use of excess water in farmland can lead to leaching in the soil. Yes, excess water season agadi na sagi migi nutrients ay ka jo dum kaino to gitam sip to phagi ba ko chumdagi ba ado thok pa yai number 2 ju sume ko growth of earthworms aids in soil fertility by making the soil more receptive to rainfall khogi earthworm gum bana lai ba mafam je kedawe hard surface de lai ke ko moy am the available over mafam je home law bane loose bane bako soil do aduna ma ai more receptive to rainfall habane edi ising do chumjan bado adu hard surface pudi na saigi home law lai ba kuna heloidra kaino water absorb to budo adu du ninko manas the high se so 46 se 1 2 and 3 ahumak shumme ko. Then next 47, they consider the following statement regarding biogas. Biogas say, minus the high it is produced by the fermentation of biodegradable materials such as biomass, manure, municipal waste, and grid waste in the presence of air high. In the presence of air high chume and I mean la licosis in anaerobic condition or absence of air or and then it primarily consists of methane and carbon dioxide. So adoga it has a low calorific value and cannot be used as a fuel. No, biogas LPG ki substitute for high calorific value like adona 47 say question number 1 and 3 say I mean option number 1 and 3 is to me no option should be C. Then 48 consider the following statement about Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. Sigumba sidi I know I'm explain to be kana de ko sidi yum yoraga phasana paw ko adubu yengzi. It is a statutory body created under the Ministry of Forest MOEFCC. Sume adagidi nako. Next, it assists foreign authorities and international organizations concerned to facilitate coordination and universal action for wildlife control. So, this is my question: which of the statement is or are not correct? Around statement, neither one nor two. These 49. The mulak say. With reference to marine ecosystem, consider the following statement. Aquatic zone in the marine ecosystem is absolutely devoid of traces of life. Absolutely devoid like sunlight depend on the organism like sigi aquatic regions the hongi aduna life like then the waves and tides produced by the pull of the moon have no influence over marine ecosystems. So la lekwa. ID marine ecosystem though since high tide, low tide set. Since maramoraga yam effect wikwa. So 49 the answer is KP. 49 will be C, both 1 and 2. Animal la le hainekwa. Duga, which of the following are the reasons or factors for exposure of particulate matter PM pollution ko haidi adugi cost one basingdo tobacco smoke yes correct the pulverization of coal correct then spraying of pesticides with chummi particulate matter we contribute with the storm so chummi ko and blasting when amak chummi ko 50 is DP bra DP ko so similarly the kitang two cause the facts hatani which of the following is not a member of vitamin B complex. Vitamin B complex haragadi kaino vitamin B se akoina vitamin se fat soluble vitamin and then water soluble vitamin and khaidui ko fat soluble vitamin da akoigi vitamin B complex se makhal mayam khaidui B haraga B the yam yam e bako aduna B complex size akoigi B1, B2, B3, then B5, B6, B7, B9, B12, and that's mine. Kaideni palay ko. Aduna sida kay hare thiamine that vitamin B1 ne ko. Nila khanga da bang aduna. Nila Siki vitamin deficiency disease are very important from exam point of view. Vitamin B deficiency sina biology part ko la ise. Biology da when a power se vitamin power the soluble vitamin na kaino, adai water soluble vitamin na kaino, and then vitamin singdugi nasagi deficiency disease ama very important ko. Deficiency disease amna kaman be amna hangan be am yaw ko. And then adu do kan kana khani no in a past year question analysis so kana khangani ko. Aduga vitamin B, I mean vitamin mayam se vitamin A, B, C, D, E, K, C mayam se C mogi chemical name lay ko. Chemical name du su khangbiyo vitamin B de haragana B1 se thiamine ni, then the riboflavin se B2 ni ko. And then folic acid P. Folic acid is not a vitamin B complex ko. Ascorbic acid so vitamin C ni ko. So I mean folic acid se vitamin B complex ki kind of manung chali folic acid se vitamin B9 B9 ni ko. Koina pregnant woman da radio da kaida iron folic acid tablet tabu folic acid tablet tabu hydro supplement of iron ko. See it's nothing but vitamin B9 je C oidebo ko. Ascorbic acid vitamin C ni ko. Aduna it is not a member of B complex. Then which of the following hormone is a steroid? Steroid hormone na is a steroid property yaw singdo ko. Ado akhoi human body da gland mayam na endocrine gland organ mayam na hormone mayam ma produce to ko. Hormones da proteinaceous hormone lay, steroid hormone lay, hormone makhayam yam ko, amino acid derivative hormone lay ko. Ado steroid hormone ni steroid property yaw do ni ado steroid hormone produce to gland ahum khang lay ahambada nasagi adrenal cortex adrenal cortex kadai de yawga kana kidney gi matonda pyramid shape ama yawne ba ko, that is called adrenal cortex. It occurs in pair ko. Adagidi koi ovaries are gonads ni ko, sex gonads ni ovaries, adagidi testis moi ahum sina steroid hormone produce to ko. Testis testosterone produce to we, and then ovary the estrogen produce to we. Sising there koina kind of steroid hormone ni ko. Aduga adrenal cortex adi akoina cortisol, then aldosterone kana lay ko, mineral corticoids, glucocorticoids kana. Si se akoina steroid hormone ni aduna manas da kai hare karamba hormones steroid no hangbani ko. Estrogen za it is a steroid hormone. 52 gi A. Then 53 the which of the following is the main function of lymphocytes? Yes, I see hangni se kai gina blood ki composition khanganing bage ko. Blood ki composition da platelets kangbu adagidi plasma ga smaya plasma na 55% of the blood ko adagidi from the corpuscles mayama form to ni corpuscles to red corpuscles, then white blood corpuscles, red blood corpuscles, that is RBC, WBC platelets na 45% of the blood oy do ko. Moya hum gida WBC gi kaino mani se composition amani ko lymphocytes se ko. Aduna lymphocytes akoina red blood cell di kadawi they mainly concerned with the transfer of oxygen and carbon dioxide from in different parts of the body. Aduga nutrients puba kopada kaino mathau pangthu ko RBC. WBC they normally body immune system ga related ko, and platelets moidi kaidawe koigi clotting property lay ko, blood clotting gi coagulation gi ko. Smara khaidoi si me am de khangna bagi damak de hangi je aduna which of the following is or are the main function of lymphocyte ki main function se kai noye akoina ahamada kai hare sida produce antibodies, then produce antigens, produce white blood cells. Antigen produced out the antibody ni antibody se kai gidamada produced or body ki immune system produced kai khatna banatra. So number 1 is correct. Antigen D, it is something that provokes the formation of antibody haidare kwa. So 2 is lale, then 3D produce white blood cells. No, white blood cells and lymphocyte produce stories. Similarly, koina lymphocytes, monocytes kana laibani ko adu white blood cells components ing do adu su khangjan badakar oi ko important oi. Similarly, aduna magi question number 53 ye option say only one A or any ko. Then question number 54 lakh say insulin. Insulin is a fat storage hormone that is released by the pancreas and regulates metabolic process. Similarly, then number 2, the melatonin is produced by pineal gland in the brain, which controls sleep and wake cycle. Similar functions in the loina chumiko. I see question hangi seka imarangi the endocrine system, endocrinology, human physiology je kyam noida layer hai se si hangbani glands in endocrine gland, exocrine gland karamba no moina produce hormone adagidi asagi hormones in deficient oirakanda kaino kai laina thui, then hormones in the excessive oirakanda kai laina thui, hormones in the function na kaino habse. You need to know about that loina active depth in a in general for example thyroid thyroid se thyroxine hormone je putu thyroxine je phajana puthoktra kanda hypothyroidism thui hena puthokanda hyperthyroidism thui thyroid nanari myam je makhal ani sui ko smaina sigumba common noi bu je day to day life thengna bu se sini ko ina noi da khanganing je. Then question number 55 lakh say recently there are some significant advances in the field of mRNA technology. Consider the following statement regarding mRNA technology. mRNA ki matang da biotechnology ki part ta kyang khangage yingning baining ko aina si question je half is there. So messenger RNA haibane ba messenger RNA je nasagi akhoi DNA na kedawani transcription tor matung da RNA form produce to doine ba RNA produce to bose karam makhol ki RNA nara kana sigi mRNA ne ba si mRNA produce to matung da kedawani through the process of transcription ni ko mRNA sina translate to kana sagi amino acids sing the form to doine ba amino acids sing the form to kana protein form to ka ba koi body da ko sigi whole process se DNA amadagi DNA sina transcription to mRNA sina mo translate to amino acid tagi mu protein mayam punjala kana protein form to base sigi whole process it's known as gene expression ko we ba ko sigi pot se khangna bani ko mRNA is it is a single stranded RNA molecule that is complementary to one of the DNA strands of a gene. Yes, DNA di double kanoni stranded ni aduga RNA ni it is single stranded oi ko. Then it can help reduce time and cost of vaccine development. Use to make mRNA technology like si je noi phajana pahani ko na sagi Pfizer ga Moderna ga COVID-19 ki vaccine ko thoi je sigi mRNA technology je seasonal ga ne ba ko adagiri it can be used to treat disorder. Very correct. Genetic disorder adagiri virus take seasonal kind of ID viral infection take treatment to bodo suma darkar oi ba ko. So number 55 is correct. D is correct. And then next, a gift. Gift technique is useful for women. Kaya gida makta. Manas the hang is it. Whole fimbria fail to capture ovum. Correct. Fimbria ID as I ovum do fertilized kanotor akanda produced or akanda fallopian tube the procadoine bako adunga moidoine bako adoga. Who has sperm antibodies in their cervical secretion? It is also correct. ID sperm the antibody developed from lodum kanoto gitaba. Magi ovary of Junaida adum destroy to body defense system duna. then who have at least one potent fallopian tube. Fallopian tube set fallopian tube and a ovary or egg product or producer or fallopian tubes the trouble or a uterus set. When a young cow have a set, stay or a never got for ovary for the fallopian tube say Yarakanda, Sigi gift technology, this is neighbor. Aduna Sigi 56 say all of the above are correct. Then 57 consider the following statement regarding hydroponics. Hydroponics it's one of the yamna yamna culture urban gardening the hydroponics yam seasonary lam like hydroponic lam like vertical gardening when to way mata aduna see matang zaina hapsalak hydroponics saying this system foster rapid growth, stronger yield, and superior quality at a much lesser cost. Lesser cost than Nicola say. See hydroponic key mag equipment may set up the initial can was a pashasiam sangico. Initial cost a high way. Next, the hydroponic system work by controlling environment conditions like temperature and pH balance and do not require photosynthesis. Since we lale 57 se option se kay D P bra D se kay no. Yes, neither 1 and 2. Kay no kang mas the D kay no lale se. Nasagi hydroponic to second na table water they are the nutrients in se. Water they are nutrients in the water is in nutritious water never more the P is a qua. See they are nutrients in say Magi root to ne absorb the rakanda Magi Masilak Suza Baneva qua. Ado manas the high is a hydroponic system work by controlling hydroponic system work by controlling environmental conditions like temperature and pH balance and do not require photosynthesis. Plants say they sustain themselves through the process of photosynthesis. Plants photosynthesis to soil the car oil soil the car oil to supply nutrients and water supply to Nabugida Aduna Sagi hydroponics culture the plants and more photosynthesis even in the absence of soil. Soil the kada they more photosynthesis over the qua. Work the car water and nutrients so water do not supply to Nebuqua. Adu the manas the high sequa. Aduna manas the end do not require photosynthesis as la level. You don't have to control the environment, you don't have to control the temperature. Aduma Then next 58 consider the following statement regarding genetically modified seeds in India. Genetically modified crops sigi issue yam lay ko ethical issue yam lay, so you need to know karamba board na karamba law kaino tawgre enact tawgre phokra habdo na up to date oigada ba. Next ki pakhadi adugumba update mayam do adu motang na hakani ko. BT cotton is the only genetically modified crop that is allowed in India. Then next, in India, Department of Biotechnology, DBT, Ministry of Sciences and Technology is the apex body that allows for commercial release of GM crops. Karamba no lale se hangbani ko, bize lale ba ko, kay gino ay kanda. GM crops ki commercial release to bagi se kana magi apex body je kana oige hire kanda nasagi genetic engineering appraisal committee hai je GEAC je sina oye ba ko. So you need to know more about genetic engineering appraisal committee ki matang no ko mana loina ba koi genetically modified crop for commercial use ki ko simayang sigi regulations se GEAC sina tawi ba ko. Then next up accession and insertion of a gene is called genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is CD kainoni nasagi organism magi genetic makeup se manipulate or kanda genetic engineering ze haidi manipulate to ko doi ne ba aduna nasagi gene transfer to bayai gene law thok bayai siguma mayam je kaida involved to genetic engineering involved to ko it's a simple definition of genetic engineering ko. Then next, what are the two main hormones secreted by thyroid gland? Thyroid gland secrete of hormones two main hormone have been called T3, T4 se secrete with aduga TSH thyroid stimulating hormone have been thyroid stimulating hormones pituitary gland that is present in the brain yi makawa the liver gland amani ko mana thyroid stimulating hormones produce to we ko thyroid palena hayeng la na khosaluni thyroid stimulating hormone is a different hormone that is produced by pituitary gland ko. Then leukemia madang yang leukemia is a disease that results from some kind of disorder in the blood. Precisely leukemia occurs due to leukemia thopono kanda nasagi WBC se excessive abnormal production to kanda leukemia thoebako aduna the market question se kaino marked increase of white blood cells in the white corpuscles in the blood B ze oidoibako. Question number 62 though, what is the following kid of 3-4 years? Which of the following kid of child 3-4 years is not a part of milk tit? Milk tit tayaw da bado karamba no hangini ko. Adi milk tit ki formula is 2102 by 2102 hai ko. That is 2 se kaino incisor ni. Ones na canine ni, zeros na premolar ni ko, aduga twos na das ki twos na molar ni ko, mathak makhamak ni ko hai je half ni yaw de je, aduna na saigi karamba yaw de molar yaw de ko 62 de C ora ni ko, aduna adult ki tit formula adagi di infant ki tit formula khangzal lu ko milk tit ki formulas. Then next up. What happens when the exposure of carbon monoxide from the coal is extremely dangerous and kill a patient? Habdi si coal carbon monoxide inhale to kanda koigi stable compound ma form to ne blood hemoglobin combine to kanda carboxy hemoglobin je mana kai dawra kane khamba carboxy hemoglobin na it impairs the carrying capacity of oxygen by the blood ko si maram oraga kedore nasagi mi je fatal oraga si anway nebo ko aduna 63 your option se C tar ni ko C the carboxy hemoglobin is a stable compound and thus deprives blood and its ability to transport oxygen hai je carboxy hemoglobin the carbon monoxide duga hemoglobin duga form to do ni ko combine to rakanda. Then gene therapy ki matang dala ekwa gene therapy se kai noar kanda nasagi technique makhalam ni ko akhoi gene defective genes kumba yara kanda se replace to do ba ko no bo healthy gene namana ko akhoi na sigi treatment se karam kana season ga kana genetic disorder kumba la ya kana season ko koi genetic disorder ara ga hereditary disease kumba se ko tinya da ba aduna similar gene therapy can be the germ-line cells of the human body. Which of the following is or are correct? Then virus can be used as a vectors during gene therapy. Gene therapy the one gene therapy can be used in the germ-line cells of the human body. Have a aduga next which of the following diseases or are not caused by bacteria? Noina like the diseases caused by bacteria diseases caused by virus size munna phajana toan separately pabiu phajana khanga satlu ko answer jidi cholera ne tetanus ne gonorrhea ne ani okay ahum bi basida mala haize karam bano sini cholera je kaya thon bano cholera nasagi vibrio cholera have kanos na thon bani ko aduga tetanus su clostridium tetani have amna ko adagidi gonorrhea zu kaino mana thon bani si se option se kai pyraminoida ha noi lainaribo noi lainaribro
Ma'am, D pira mamale.
option do line ba male ko ay tang check toge then next tetanus ko bacteria na thon bani cholera zu bacteria na thon bani then gonorrhea zu bacteria na thon bani ni oh chume aina question da not caused by bacteria haibani ko sida ai wena mit the ko which of the following diseases is or are not caused by bacteria haiba ko see all of them are caused by bacteria aduna the correct answer will be none of the above gyan tai ko na noina pa matanda viral disease bacterial disease singa phajana macha khaina khangbo chatlu ko IQ oina this the lower ko up to 65 environment plus general science ki biotech biology animak yaure ko mathangi di sigi basic man je phajana pabiro aduga basic sinse khanga matumda knowledge to update to ko newspaper gumba current affairs gumba paraga anyway thank you all